Hey guys, boy do I have something special for you today. No, your eyes are not deceiving you. I got my hands on the super limited Corocoro Magazine Zero Grizis, and we're going to take an in-depth look at it today. So strap in, this is going to be good.
Robo Shop.
Okay, so I'm going to do the closest thing I can manage to an unboxing in a second, but first let's talk about what this is. Corocoro Magazine in Japan does these promotions with these scratch-off cards, basically, that you send in, and then they pick 100 winners that receive one of these limited Zoids that are usually just straight recallers. I assume they do this with other toy lines as well, but that's really all I know. So these are extremely hard to come by, obviously, especially outside of Japan, and I've never even bothered trying to track one down until this one. That's also why I couldn't tell you how it works with the other Zoids they've made, but what you get in this case is just all of the black parts to replace the silver ones on the standard Zero Grizis. So you'll need to actually buy a Grizis to complete it. Well, and that's really all I know, so let's get started. Alright, let's take a look at this then. I'm a little bit excited, as you can probably imagine. First of all, we get this little leaflet here because, as I hopefully said in the intro for this video, you don't get a complete Grizis. What you actually get is what is essentially one of the parts bags, and the leaflet here is a parts list. Surprisingly, you don't, let me get this out of the way for a second. You don't actually see the Corocoro logo on this anywhere. It's this parts list, the Zoids Wild logo. Unfortunately, I have no idea what any of this says. And the back, as you saw before, was white. Now, before we look at the parts, let's do a quick comparison here with the parts list of the regular Grizis so that we know what we've got here. Seems to be well, let's take a look. We've got A1 and A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 12, A11, that's the piece that goes into the mouth, is not in here. We've got these torso halves, and then obviously, like all this stuff, the mechanical parts for the legs are not part of this. It continues with 25 and 26, the leg armor. 27 and 28, these are outside sort of ribcagey armor pieces, and I can't remember where these go actually. 29 and 30, more of the ribcage stuff. We have the arms, 32 and 33. And then we continue with, because 31 and 34 are the hands, and these are not included. Continues with 35 and 36. That's, yeah, okay, this and this and this. This is all the tail. And then the head, and these smaller pieces that go on the head. So it doesn't include any of the S parts, of course, and the weapons that go on the back and the gearbox, but it is, I'm going to say, most of the parts that make up the body are going to be black. So, also, this bag here, which actually I have no idea what this contains. Let's take a look. It's not mentioned on the leaflet. Or at least I don't think so. Oh. Okay. Looks like. Whoa. Nice collar. This is. Yeah. I remember this. This is the bonus part that I already reviewed quite some time ago, that HobbyLink Japan gave away as part of a promotional campaign, that you can stick together to form this large gun, which I think at the moment, the gunmetal collared version of this sits on my Stego Sage. You can see here, it tells you how to stick it together. And there's a suggestion for how you can mount it. You know, it's a little closer to the camera, how you can mount it to the Zero Grizis. So I guess this is specifically for the Grizis. It's funny, I didn't see this in any of the pictures that I saw announcing this version of the Grizis. I'm trying to get the salt out of the bag without making too much of a mess or knocking something off my table. That's it. Okay, great big pile of black here. Let's take a look and let's take our time because we want to get our money's worth. This is one of the head armor pieces. I am just sort of examining this right now to see if it's black or metallic black, but it looks to me it's very, very lightly, it has sort of metallic flakes in it, but really this is basically just straight black. We have, this is one of those pieces that the tail attaches to. I want to look at the painted parts. Yeah, as I obviously assumed, the gun here is the same color as the painted sections, I mean. I've got this and this, the tail parts, another head half. This is one of the leg armor pieces, also painted with the Zanibus logo molded into it. Also, the sprue scars are nowhere to be seen, really. It definitely has, it's a really weird black color because it's slightly off black. It has a sort of a very, very light gray tone to it, which I can't quite put my finger on what it is at the moment. Arm, also with the purple painted on here, of course. Here's one of the mechanical pieces for, I think, the tail, if I remember correctly. More tail armor. These ribcage pieces here. Here's one of the torso halves. Slight discoloration here. I don't know what this is. Looks like a sprue mark, but it's not. One of these small mechanical pieces that goes somewhere on the chest, if I remember correctly. Here's another arm. Here's the other one of these. More tail armor. The other leg armor piece. This is one of the small pieces that go on the head. It's funny that the black looks different depending what the parts look like for some reason. Again, can't quite put my finger on what exactly this black tone is, but the important thing is going to be what it looks like next to the gray parts that we're still going to use anyway. So here's another one of those mechanical pieces, and yeah, I think we've seen pretty much everything now. So I'm just kind of holding them all up and putting them in front of the camera. But of course, what you guys really want to see is what this guy's going to look like when he's all put together. So that is what I am going to do right now, is I am going to put this together. And if you're not jealous because I have a black Grizis, you should be jealous because I now get to build another Zero Grizis. And it's one of the funnest Zoids to build that I've ever seen. So we're going to do that. And then you can expect lots and lots of pictures. Oh yes, oh yes. Be back in a second. Alright, before we get to the good stuff, here's a better look at that leaflet. Like I said earlier, I don't really know what you usually get with these Corocoro Zoids, but this looks like it's probably standard. You have the parts list here, and underneath, near as I can tell with Google Translate, it just says to substitute these parts for the silver ones from the regular Grizis, obviously. At the top left, it says Zero Grizis and Armor Parts Kit in katakana, and apparently the kanji says Dark Form, so that's the Zoid's full name, Zero Grizis Dark Form, and that's what we're going to call it in this video. Anyway, I just thought you guys would like to get a look at this because I've never seen it before. Let's do comparisons. Here are the two versions side by side. Now I will say right at the top here that the standard Grizis does have the advantage that the detail pops more because of the lighter collar, and I kind of expected that. However, one complaint I had about it that I didn't mention in my review is that I really don't think the gunmetal and particularly the regular grey parts work all that well next to the silver. You can see this here on the chest. That chest piece is the one thing on the standard Grizis that bugs me the most. Compare this to what it looks like next to the black armor and it just makes more sense visually. The jaw also pops more against the black armor in my opinion and breaks the Zoid up more visually, which kind of makes up for the less visible detail on the armor, especially from a distance. The same thing is true for the legs. Not only does the grey look better next to black, the layered look also gives it more of an appearance of depth. What you can also see here is that the purple stripes actually still stand out pretty well against the black, which is something I was worried about. Not only that, but if you look at the standard Grizis here, it stands out much more that the paint job isn't perfect. The black of the limited version's armor makes these slight inaccuracies basically disappear like a panel line wash would. In all honesty, with how much better the black works with the other collars, I can't help but feel like that was how they had originally intended it, and then there was a design change at the last moment. I'm not saying I don't like the silver anymore all of a sudden, but it's really clear to me that the black works better. Also, here's a picture with that bonus weapon. It's a neat idea in theory, but honestly, no. Nice that it's included, but I won't be displaying mine like this. And that's it, really. If you want to see my full review of the standard Zero Grizis or a video of how you build it, I've got those linked at the end of the video and in the description. My conclusion here is that I definitely prefer the Dark Form to the regular Grizis, and I'd actually consider it the definitive version of this Zoid. Obviously, it's hard to get, and if you do come by one, it's going to be expensive, so you might just want to get a regular Grizis and paint the silver parts black, but if you're in a position to get your hands on this version and you're on the fence, I say go for it. I don't intend to start collecting all of these now, but I am so glad I got this one. It's the definitive version of my favorite Zoids Wild model and one of my favorite Zoids of all time, so, you know, they kind of had to have it. Anyway, I'll leave you guys with a picture gallery and some action footage here, so I'll just say if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more Zoids Wild reviews because I do at least all of the regular releases and plenty of other Zoids related stuff, so you're going to want to make sure you don't miss all that. In the meantime, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.
you.